Welcome to the Cut to the Chase Sports Podcast. We bring unique insight and analysis behind your favorite teams at the collegiate levels. I'm your host, Chase Yance. Alongside me, I got Matt Ricketts. Matt, what's going on with you?
What's up, fellas? How we doing?
Doing okay. I mean,
all right.
Whatever. Yeah.
Pretty good.
Yeah. Brady, how are you?
Doing pretty good. Little long weekend kind of for me this weekend. Had no Monday classes. That's why you see me here as opposed to on campus because I was home this weekend.
Yep.
Nice. But other than that, little quieter weekend. No Ohio State football, so we didn't have any we won't have that game to talk about, but so some other games.
Yeah. I just saw a Joe Burrow commercial with Bose, and I think never mind. All right. Just like this video, subscribe, blah blah blah. You guys know the rest of the deal. Just screw all that. Yeah, so we did have a quiet week for Ohio State. They didn't play, had a bye week after a tough game against Notre Dame. Notre Dame, in fact, played Duke, and that game got pretty crazy at the end. Notre Dame did get the victory. What was it? Duke, had the ball, and then they punted it to Notre Dame. Riley Leonard punted it to Notre Dame, on a short field. It was kind of in no man's land, and then Notre Dame just went all the way down the field, made some big plays. Audric Estime comes in, looks as though he's trying to run out the clock, scores a touchdown. Then Riley Leonard the next drive, strip sack, gets hurt, all this stuff. Just what were you guys' first thoughts of, how that game and how Notre Dame survived?
Yeah, that was a crazy game. It definitely looked like for most of the game, Notre Dame outplayed Duke. Outgained them by a good amount. They were, shutting down Duke's offense, and then it became a game late, and it became a very exciting game. It was interesting to see Riley Leonard not having success like he did against Clemson. He was struggling a little bit more this game. Threw a pick. I think he fumbled a couple times. So he was, a little flustered this game. Never want to see him get injured. That was not good at all. But it was interesting to see Sam Hartman convert that 4th and 16 with his legs. He really, he took off, used his legs, and it was a gritty play, especially because, got stopped on 4th down twice last week, if I remember correctly. So
silver bullets.
That was interesting to see him be able to use his legs and then Estime win the game. And Marcus Freeman said something like he shouldn't have scored. Yes, he should have. You don't want to trust that kicker that misses all those kicks to kick a field goal. You go up, then you have your defense stop Notre Dame.
Yeah, so, I mean, obviously they got the win. They stay somewhat alive or whatever. Obviously, no conference, one loss. I mean, you can take that however you want to and everything. But yeah, Notre Dame, they're not out of it yet, but it's going to be tough. Matt, what'd you think of the game on Saturday night? Obviously, you were having some fun this week.
Yeah. Now I did watch some highlights. There was only one game I was able to watch any of it all, just because I was at a wedding, very drunk, very, very drunk. But it was
no
awesome.
Surprise.
Yeah. But I did watch some of the highlights. It did shock me how the game played out. I figured it would be close. I thought Notre Dame would win by 10. It's kind of what I thought. But it's good for Ohio State, number one, for to have our non-conference win, still be really good. But I thought, towards the end of the game, Sam Hartman obviously making a big play, and then Audric Estime. You guys talk about Freeman. What a dumbass thing to say. Just take the fucking lead. I mean, who cares?
Yep.
You're just a dumbass thing to say, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Estime, the running back, did a good job taking it into the house for that touchdown.
Yeah, so that's just kind of my take on that one.
Yeah, the game you were able to watch, which one was it, Matt? I think
USC,
I know which one
Colorado.
Yeah, what'd you think of that one?
So, what do I think of that one? I will say this. Everybody at the wedding was yelling at me, man, why did you bet Colorado? You should bet USC. Should bet USC. And I looked at you guys towards the end of the game. I said, well, fuck you. Why didn't you bet Colorado? Why didn't you bet Colorado? Well, this is Matt's picks right here, baby. Okay. 2-1 on the week. Colorado covers the 21.5. So, fuck you guys. So, not you guys.
Oh, my gosh.
But, this is exactly how I thought this game would play out. I thought USC would get off to an early lead, and Colorado Colorado would stick around enough, and USC's defense is really bad. It's just bad. They know coming into the game they were the highest percentage of rushing the passer without blitzing. So their front four was like 48% of the time they got to the quarterback. And I just thought, if they could get it out, if could miss a lot of tackles, which ended up happening in the second half of the game. I mean, USC's offense, no doubt, is going to be an highway everywhere. Defense.
Yeah. Yep. Facts. Yeah, I mean, obviously USC got off to that fast start. That Colorado, they didn't have much of an answer at all in the first half, but Colorado was able to make that comeback. I was surprised they made that big of a comeback, but obviously you don't play a whole lot of defense out there in the Pac-12, to say the least. They kind of took a page out of the Big 12 book in that regard. Shedeur, second half looked good, but obviously that first half put in, too big of a hole. I mean, not really his fault. It was just, the fact that they have no defense. They don't play defense, and they have no offensive line. That was, the big thing coming into that one. And, Caleb Williams, I mean, the dude's looking like he might, I don't want to say it, but he might end up getting that second Heisman. I'm not sure, but don't want to put that out in the air yet because obviously, it's only happened one other time, but he's got the numbers and the resume to back it up right now. So we'll see. Brady, what did you take away from this game?
Yeah, both defenses are god awful. Definitely the main takeaway. USC was just able to score a little bit more than Colorado. They are definitely the better team. Matt definitely got some help towards the end with his spread. We got to be completely honest there. Not saying it was a good pick. It was a good pick. Matt's picks did a good job this week, but there's some garbage time points scored by Colorado to make the game look a little bit closer towards the end. They fought back. They showed resilience, showed a lot of fight, well coached. Their freshman wide receiver at Colorado, Amarion Miller. I think they have Amarion Cooper on defense, Amarion Miller on offense. So kind of get them mixed up. But he had like 200 receiving yards that game. I think he had his first catch in general that game too, and ended up with 200 yards. So crazy game for him. And USC, man, the only thing I'd refute to Caleb Williams winning the second Heisman, which I completely agree, he's looked great this year, definitely better than last year, because we all know last year, his Heisman was more of like a fallback thing due to other guys losing. This year, he might win, him and Michael Penix are the clear front runners right now for the Heisman Trophy. So if either of those teams can win and make the playoffs, they will be the front runner, whichever. If one of those teams can get in. Now, if USC's defense can't hold up and they lose a game or two, that could even screw him out of it. It just depends on how that works. But he's definitely played better this year than last year, in my opinion. And he's gotten better, from the pocket, actually not trying to make every play some whack out of script play.
Yeah, definitely. And to my knowledge, I didn't even know that Jerry Rice's son played for freaking USC. So it's kind of crazy, blast from the past right there. You saw, it would have been nice to see, his son go up against, Shiloh Sanders, just to have that Rice versus Sanders matchup again, just like in the 90s. But, it's near there. Any surprises from the weekend? We'll ask that in a second. But Georgia, that was a bit of, surprise, a little bit. I mean, Auburn's won the last four. Damn it, Matt.
Sorry.
I'm just kidding. I don't care. Nah, Auburn's won their last four matchups against number one teams at Jordan-Hare Stadium. So, that's where it's not surprising, but then again, a little bit surprising. That was Georgia's first road test of the season, if I'm correct, right?
It was.
Yeah, so I mean,
first time Carson Beck started on the road.
Yeah, I was a little. I thought he didn't do a bad job in crunch time. I thought he would kind of fold under pressure. But that was a bigger surprise for me this weekend, seeing Carson Beck make some big time throws. There were a lot to Brock Bowers, but he made plays and threw the ball to his playmaker and he made plays. So I don't know. Any takeaways from that game? Sorry, Brady.
Yeah, it was funny to see the fact that Auburn was able to run the ball in Georgia so easily. They could not throw. Peyton Thorne is horrible, but he could run. The running backs could run. They were just running the ball. And their defense at the beginning was playing good against Georgia. Like Georgia was struggling. Carson Beck was flustered, but then that kind of changed, and Georgia started to run the ball as well as throw the ball. Brock Bowers really was shut down in the first half, and then in the second half, he just had a huge second half. And, obviously we were all rooting for Auburn to win that game. But, we get to a third down, and somehow it's like, it might be a good idea to cover their best player and not let him have 150 receiving yards in the second half.
Yeah.
And Brock Bowers just went off. And I think he's definitely the second best tight end in the country now.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's a little inside thing, but yeah. Matt, didn't mean to cut you off there. Did you get a chance to watch
Cade Stover, number 8 for Ohio State?
I was just surprised. I thought Georgia would cover. They're just playing sloppy. They're just not playing Georgia. You know what I mean? It's just I don't know what it is yet. They've got to replace so many guys the past 2 years. Just trying to catch their stride. And I foresee them playing their best football in November, like typical Georgia. But they have a big one this week. Kentucky's coming to town, so we'll see. Kentucky beat the hell out of Florida, so. I don't know. We'll see.
I just feel like this week's finally a day, like the day Georgia's going to have to play good, though. Like
I agree.
I feel like I have a feeling this won't be a game since they've already had two.
It could be. They could just beat the heck out of them. So we'll see.
Yeah, they could.
But like I said, it was a little shocking to me that it was as close as it was. I know they were going on the road. I know they were playing at Auburn. Loud. It could be a hostile environment, but I was a little shocked that it was as close as it was.
Yep. And some other results, that happened and, in the ranked matchups, you had Oregon State beat Utah 21-7 on Friday. Kind of a boring game, but, Oregon State got the job done at home. Our rivals up north, Michigan, 145-7. Roman Wilson actually made it a heck of a catch, but, terrible ball. I love how people rank JJ McCarthy and they're like top 10 quarterbacks and stuff coming out of the draft. That dude is absolutely ass. He's terrible, so bad. But he's bad. He's not a. I don't know what people see. Like, is it playmaking, extending the play? Like, oh my gosh, dude. Like, no.
Jesus,
no.
If they like extending the play so much, then Jalen Milroe must be freaking.
Man,
the Heisman winner
must be fucking Michael Vick. Jeez, I mean, crazy. But Texas took care of Kansas 40-14. Close game of the first half, but Texas just closed it out there. LSU, their season is basically over. What a heck of a game that was, though. 55-49. It was a weird 6:00 kickoff. Just a lot of stuff was, not normal about this game, but I mean, there was a lot of offense. I believe there was, you combine the two offenses together, the respective offenses. There was almost a mile of offense in this game. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable what happened. I mean, it was 21-7 Ole Miss at the end of the first quarter, and then it was 31-28 a half Ole Miss. Yep. I mean, just ridiculous stuff that happened in that game. Jaden Daniels, 414 yards, 4 touchdowns. Jackson Dart, 389 yards, 4 touchdowns. Quinshon Judkins, 177 yards on 33 carries and a touchdown. It's been crazy. And then not to mention for LSU, 3 of the 4 touchdown throws from Jaden Daniels to Brian Thomas Jr. Pretty crazy stuff that happened there. What was a big surprise this weekend to you guys, other than like any games that we just mentioned, like any players that popped off, anything like that?
I would say a big surprise is LSU is being ranked, but I'm not going to say that because I know who controls the rankings and I know I'm not surprised at the same time. So
gotcha.
A player that I was surprised about from the weekend, I would probably say. I was going to say somebody, but then I realized I'd probably not see. I was going to say Cade Klubnik, but he also had some bad play. He was better this weekend than I gave him credit for the past couple of weeks for Clemson on the win over Syracuse. Cade has not been – he's got a little bit better. They're irrelevant, so it doesn't really matter that much with the 2 losses.
Yeah.
But if LSU's ranked, why isn't Clemson – like it's one of those things where like LSU is not necessarily better than Clemson.
Yep.
They both have 2 losses. They both started with high expectations. I'm just not buying. I just don't get it.
Yep. Matt, I know you obviously didn't get a chance to watch a whole lot of games, or under being being sober. But what did you? Was there anybody that surprised you or anything like that this weekend?
To be honest, I don't got shit for you. I'm just ready for this weekend
Cool.
and the Buckeyes.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
Yep. You got it. You got a good idea of Matt's picks this week. Obviously, don't reveal them, but you got a good idea of who you might be, putting a bet on this weekend.
Are you speaking right now?
No, I don't actually. I'm waiting from there.
Okay. We're gonna.
What are you doing?
What?
Okay, we're gonna get on out of here. And we'll see you guys on Wednesday or whatever day that is. All right.